Ampippal Hospital. I'm also lecturer in emergency department in Paudel Hospital. I've been working there for 3 years now. Well, actually, I was appointed 2 years ago, and I was working in Ampippal Hospital for the last 3 years. And this hospital is in midwestern part of the country, and this is in southwestern part of Gorkha district. Hospital is located in an altitude of 1100 meters. So this that red circle that you see, that's where the hospital is. And most of the time the patient we see are around from there, and then also the neighboring district of Tanau and Lamjung. And I also see sometimes people from this Himalayan region, from Samagaon and all these places. It's very far, and then it takes about 2-3 days for patient to get there. And the latest this femur fracture case that we did was from Bichor, and it took 3 days for her to get to the hospital on a doko. Imagine having a femur fracture and then being carried on a doko for 3 days. Imagine that pain. And she doesn't even have money to go to other places. I had to do it. I did. I'm a general practitioner. Dr. Samir was asking me to tell you guys what a general practitioner is. General practitioner in this country is a physician. He is supposed to take care of you the moment you are born till you die. And then he sees you and he just diverts you to the proper places. If you are depressed and then he cannot manage it, then he has to refer you to the psychiatrist, and then if a surgical case, to surgeon, and this. And we are also trained a little bit in surgery. We do this cesarean section, we do general surgery, we do orthopedic surgery a little bit. And we are a different breed of general practitioner compared to other general practitioners in the world, because we also do surgeries, we also do anesthesia, we also do orthopedics, and we also do obstetrics. And other GPs in the world, they don't even dream to do it. They even dare to do it. They don't even dare. But we are trained. We are working in a place where there is no support, and on your own you have to administer anesthesia, and you have to do the surgery, and you have to come back out of the surgery and take the patient out of anesthesia. That's what I've been doing. All right. So this is Ampippal Community Hospital from Google Earth. I don't know if you can see it properly. This is the road here. This is the road leading up to the hospital. That red dot is the hospital, and this is also the road. It looks very bleak from I don't know how many meters, maybe 3,000 meters up. So this is how it looks up close from a mountain. It was taken a year ago, maybe more, before earthquake struck. And after the earthquake, we had a portion of building was destroyed, and now we are doing a reconstruction. We partnered with Zyka, and the construction is supposed to be finished by 2017 August. So it's a 46-bedded hospital with 2 operation theaters, and capacity has been reduced to 30 beds since last earthquake. And the hospital potentially serves a catchment area of 200,000 people, including neighboring district. And most of the patients walk to the hospital, walking distance ranging from half an hour to more than a day. And sick and elderly are mostly carried to the hospital in one of the locally improvised carriers. So this is how it looks like. This is called a tamdani. This is a locally devised thing. She is 83. She cannot move her right upper and lower limbs for more than 12 hours, and it took 6 hours for her to get to the hospital. This is another guy being carried on a doko. It took 9 hours to get him to the hospital. This is another lady. It took about 2.5 hours to get to the hospital. She has an ankle fracture and took her 15 hours to get to the hospital. So I have a total staff of 47, and I'm the only GP doctor working there. and I get a GP resident sometimes, and he is going to go back on Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm going back to Ampippal, and he's going to return on Tuesday. And Tuesday onwards, for next 6 months, probably I'll be the only doctor working there. No student, no medical officer, no resident. So this is a time when I get lucky, and I have medical students, and a GP resident is standing right behind me, and these are the Paudel Academy of Health Sciences students. They are supposed to go there, and then they do their rural posting for 4.5 months, 5 months, it depends. And that's the last group that was there. Other times it's only me. It's just doing care of the fractures and the external fixators, the newborns and knee pain. It's only me. And here I'm doing the surgery. This is actually a laparotomy. That means that you have to open the abdomen of the patient and do the surgery. You do open the patient had obstruction of he couldn't pass anything down. No gas, no stool, nothing. He had obstruction, and I did a laparotomy, this surgery, and then I made a temporary outlet over here that's called ileostomy, and then I managed that patient there with ileostomy for 8 weeks before I sent that patient to Kathmandu Model Hospital for further management. And after further management, he's fine. He survived because I could do that surgery there. And when you see that picture, it's just, I'm doing surgery and then there's nothing. It's a still picture and you cannot get much out of it. But to do that surgery, you have to first prepare that patient. You have to do resuscitation. They call it fluid resuscitation. You have to prepare that patient. And then you have to give general anesthesia. That's no laughing matter. It's giving general anesthesia. You have to completely knock out that patient. And I only have ketamine and propofol, and I used that. I intubated that patient. I had one of those students bag that patient. I don't have ventilator. I intubated the patient, had one of the students bag that patient, and went and scrubbed in and did the surgery, scrubbed out, and extubated that patient. That takes a lot of courage to work that way. Something goes, just a thing goes down or goes wrong, you'll be lynched. Not by the patient party, but these local political stalwarts or heavyweights. But it's not because I wanted to do, not because I wanted to do some medical adventurism. It's not. Because I was forced to. That guy was about to die. I did that surgery on New Year's Day, 2073. Baisak Egode. I tried to call everyone, even Dr. Dital and others. They were busy. No, I couldn't connect to anyone. It's New Year's Day. Everyone is busy, having fun. And at the very last moment, I had to do that surgery, and I did that around 6 p.m. in the evening. I tried to connect to many people, tried to get the information. And he didn't have any money. It's almost all charity. Almost all. They only paid like 10,000 rupees. And the stoma bag that I used there, one stoma bag cost like 1,100 rupees. I finished almost all these stoma bags that Germans had stored there. And then later I improvised something and then put a polythene bag in it. It worked. As long as that stool doesn't contaminate the skin, it works. That's how it is. I mean, you improvise. And this is, I'm doing a surgery cesarean section for breech presentation. Breech meaning the baby is upside down. And this is OPD, and most of the time I'm in the OPD, and by myself. And there was also a talk about this Dr. Kevin, Dr. Mati Chu, the Tolosas, I don't think these new doctors take this that way, because that's not being taught anymore. So you stay with the people at the same level, and also now they are avoiding the the table between the patient and doctors. I don't use, if you see me on this right hand upper picture, so there's a table, but only the corner of the table. Patient is here and I'm sitting here. There's no table in between me and the patient. That's what I was taught, and that's what it's being taught these days, at least in Paudel Academy of Health Sciences. So doctor भएर त म चाहिँ ठुलो त बिरामी भएर त चाहिँ साझा भन्ने त्यस्तो कन्सेप्ट चाहिँ छ भन्ने चाहिँ लाग्दैन अहिले. So this is what I was doing, administrating anesthesia, night calls, deliveries, everything 24/7, and it's most painful part for first 1 year was the professional isolation. I couldn't connect. There is no phone line there. There was no phone line. There's only cell phone, and it worked sometimes and it didn't. There was no internet when I worked there. And after 1 year, Paudel Academy got involved, and they wanted to send students, and so they got the internet working there. It took a lot of money for them to get that internet there. And I'm going to show you some pictures of the surgery because it was relevant only for the telemedicine, so I didn't include all the pictures, all the things that I've been doing. I'm only including the pictures that I made use of telemedicine and to do those surgeries. So it's not the whole picture. So I talked to a German trauma surgeon called René Kalisch, and I would usually send him emails, and then with attachments you can see. Those attachments are the X-ray pictures, and then he would write me back with his attachments. And that attachment would be his pictures, drawings, and how to approach that surgery. And he would write me a long email with instructions. And there are some books there, old books left by missionaries, and to read those books. And because René Kalisch was there in that hospital before, so he knew all the resources we had. And so it was easier to talk to him. And I just kept with one guy. That would make things simpler for me. And this is one of the cases that I consulted. This is a femur fracture, as you can see. This is a knee here. This is a knee. This is a fracture over here. It's grossly deformed. This guy was collecting fodder. He climbed up the tree, and then he fell down, and then he had this fracture. And the maximum amount of money they could manage for him is 10,000 rupees. And then they were saying they cannot go anywhere. Either he has to die or that has to be done there in Ampippal hospital. I never had done that femur fracture surgery before. But now I'm in dilemma. I'm the only doctor there. Should I just refer him? Because he's saying that I cannot go anywhere. I don't have money. I have 3 kids, 3 sons, and the only property he has is a house, a buffalo, and a piece of land. Do I want him to sell those things? How are we going to feed his 3 kids later on? This is something I don't have to decide as a doctor. But I'm forced to. And I did that surgery. That was the fracture there in X-ray. That's a consultation I did, and then he wrote me a long email, and then he gave me the complication scenarios and backup plans. Remember, plan B, the external fixator always works, all these things. And then he gave me this picture. This is how I'm supposed to reduce that fracture, and this is how it's supposed to, I'm supposed to have the plates, 3 pins up, 3 pins down. There shouldn't be a pin nearby the fracture line. It's strict instructions. And this is the outcome. This is what I did. I had never done femur fracture surgery in my life. I was mortified to do that, that I might do something wrong. I read up whole night, 2 nights, everything I could find out on femur fracture, complication, things could go wrong. If there is any vessels that I might hit, or maybe nerve that I might hit. And this is another consultation. You can see a fracture line there, the red arrow pointing there. This is a distal radius fracture. And this is the instruction he sent, and this the post-operative management with the pins. And there you can see a fracture. This is called an ulnar fracture on a grown adult man, and then I put a plate on it. So this is a fracture of a young guy who fell while collecting fodder again from tree, and then fractured both bones. And I put the IM flexible nails. It's called IM flexible nails. One nail in Kathmandu costs about 4,500 rupees, and 2 of them, that would make 9,000. Only the nails. And the whole surgery we did for 15,000 rupees. And that too is mostly charity. So this is another very complicated fracture that I don't want to go into the details, but it's a fracture of this humerus above the elbow, and it's very complicated. It's open fracture. The bone was protruding out of here, about 2 centimeters out from the arm. It's an emergency. And I did that surgery as well. This also required a patient being anesthetized completely. Now this time it's only 8-year-old guy, a girl. So dozens of orthopedic cases have been managed this way in last 2 years.